Lagoon Sleep is a sponsor of this episode. I don't need to hound you about the importance of getting good sleep every night, but why not get great sleep when you have the chance? We know that sleep is one of the most powerful yet underutilized training components. Lagoon supports your sleep with the most comfortable and customized pillow for you. Go to lagoonsleep.com/believe to take a quick quiz, and they will recommend a pillow based on your needs. I am the otter as I sleep hot and mostly wanted some cushy support for my neck and head. While sleep comes pretty easily for me, I still notice a difference during the occasions I don't have my Lagoon pillow. I believe in it so much that my whole family now uses Lagoon pillows, and we bought those ourselves. If you want one too, head to lagoonsleep.com/believe, take the quick quiz, and use code BELIEVE for 15% off your order. Hey, this is Taylor with Believe in the Run. I wanted to let you know that the podcasts are getting their own channel. As we continue to grow, please search and follow BITR Networks on YouTube and Instagram to find all of the podcast-related content. If you're looking for the shoe and gear reviews, you can find those on BelieveInTheRun.com or search Believe in the Run on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you for your support. Here's the show.
Give a good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you want to talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop, D-R-O-P. Believe in the run.
Hey, this is Taylor with Believe in the Run.
And Reese with Believe in the Run.
And Alex with Believe in the Run.
And you're listening to The Drop, but the Dirt Division segment where we all run in the dirt rather than pavement. Well, I guess that's not fair to say. We run on kind of all things, but we prefer the dirt.
Yes.
Accurate,
And
yes.
random question. When you guys introduce yourselves, while we're all saying with Believe in the Run, do you kind of want to like mix it up or interrupt or be like, let me guess, you're with Believe in the Run?
Hey, who are you with?
Who are you with? Where are you from?
Believe in the Run,
Yeah.
obviously. I guess I haven't had that urge, but now that you put it in my head, you look out next week.
Yeah.
One time I was going to be like with the Dirt Division just to
Ooh,
mess it
yeah.
up.
Mm.
I think from a writing
Technically.
standpoint, if this were written and we all said that, I would scratch it out and
It
read.
would be
and
edited
like,
out.
Redundant.
You don't need to say it 3 times.
I know we do it, but like, I just, from a writing standpoint.
We don't want to.
Let me say I'm glad we don't write our scripts and put it all out there after this too. Now that would be redundant.
Oh,
That's a good
If-
use of AI. I do have another question.
Yeah.
When you guys are running, what do you do with your snot?
oh, you just hold one
What do you mean?
nose to the side and then just.
Farmer blow. Yeah.
Classic snot rocket farmer blow. But not
Yeah, what do you
everybody's
do
that
with
way.
it? How do you manage it?
I do that, but then I have a mustache, so naturally things get caught there.
Disgusting.
So I was thinking about this too when I was running with a few folks, and I've made it a habit of this, of running for however many years with people. I always just do fist bumps at the end of the run, like, hey, good job, great to be out there with you, that kind of stuff, but never high fives, because after a snot rocket, anything like that, or if it's of a consistency that the snot rocket doesn't quite work, you just wipe with your hand on the short, right?
I have
So-
never thought this much about it.
I know.
Yeah. Well,
And now I don't even want to fist bump you because there's
No,
inevitably some on the back too.
No, it's always on the front. It's always on the front. But someone did reach out with a really cool idea, which I don't know if it's patent. So I guess I
Where's
shouldn't
this
say
going?
it just in case.
Yeah, where is this going?
Where are we
But
going?
it has to
Where
do
are we
with
going,
snot.
Taylor?
And I thought it was a cool idea, and it got me thinking about this.
Wait, but now you're
Yeah.
not going to say it?
I was
Well-
like, this is a really cool idea, but I can't tell you.
I mean,
This is great.
yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to try to patent this or make billions off of it. And if they do,
probably not. However,
There's
it's a
legal
cool idea that, I come from a rural background. Pretty much every farmer has a hanky in their pocket or in their back pocket, which I was not of those types. Neither was anybody in my family.
My dad always had
yeah,
that. It
my
was so
grandpa.
gross.
Did he wash it every day?
Not every day.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
See, I
actually.
feel like they probably have 3 of them, one in their truck, one in their pocket at all times,
Right,
and
they're
then
like
one that's in the
threadbare.
wash. Yeah. Yeah. At any rate, it's a little concerning. I would always like, be at the diner and just see these guys bring it out and blow their nose and then just stuff it back in their pocket. And I'd just be
Put it
always
back in their pocket. Yep.
perplexed. And like, that's the hand they're shaking with as well, But so that's gross. But this guy who reached out, he had an idea of a runner's version of that you could, wash, obviously. But it would be like a nice material on one side. It'd have a zipper or a button that it can, carabiner somewhere on your pack or something easily accessible. And then it's just made for running and you throw it in the wash after. I'm like, okay, I get that. Especially if you're a really, a leaky faucet up there, that could be really practical.
I just didn't realize this was an issue.
No, I thought we just all farmer blew and like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, you just look for the person behind you and you go for it.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to wipe.
There's a lot of people out there who will never even attempt farmer's blow.
Is that true? How do you know that?
Oh,
that
yeah.
Like a very sweeping statement.
Because I have 3
Alex and I
women
are like,
runners
what?
in my life, and none of them do it. None of them do it. All grew up rural.
Is it a matter of like not wanting to get it on yourself?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Man, you just got to put more force behind it.
Yeah, you got to blow hard.
Yeah.
And you got to wait until you really need to blow. Kind of like when you got to pee quick. It's like, wait till it kind of... You
also,
really have to.
why? I'm still a little confused about the hand on the nose. Like, I'm a firm...
It's right on your skin?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not touching anyone or anything. Like, if you're doing like forearm, just like
no one's touching your forearm after the run.
No one's touching my forearm.
But don't you, like, when you're running with people and it might be close, you might bump arms, stuff like that?
No. We run like single file.
Yeah.
When you're on the single track,
after the run, I don't think I bump arms with. I'm trying to think of what I do when I leave my friends. I think I just say, "Hey, thanks, bye."
I don't high five or bump.
Like, don't post that picture.
Well, you guys should be more friendly. Just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, my friends are like, okay, bye, I have to go eat.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Also, okay. Taylor, I have to tell you, your egg thing that you talked about, I have friends who like got to that part and they're like, had to turn your podcast off. That was gross.
Oh.
And I will not let you guys ruin eggs for me.
So. Hey, you guys brought it up. Eggs really aren't that bad in all their forms.
You took it a different direction.
This is actually now an intervention. Hey, Taylor, so we can't let you do this.
There's some things that have been problematic.
Yeah.
This has become an issue.
Yeah. I'm a controversial figure. That's where I define my life now.
Whatever happened to your semi-controversial question of the week?
I know. Yeah. I've been really lacking on those. So maybe this snot one is it.
Also, just from like a personality standpoint, I do want to point out that like of the 3 of us who should be slightly controversial, it's probably me because I say things as like word vomit. And even if I know that there's like an alternative view and I actually probably can see that side of it, I just like didn't say it. And most of the time I like think it's way more funny to talk about the negative. And so I'm like, why would I not be the person? Taylor over here, most agreeable man.
I know.
And I'm like, that's dumb. And I'm like, I don't even know why I think just said that.
Yeah, it's just your MO, apparently.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what. Taylor doesn't get to be controversial. You're not.
Yeah, they're like, we expect this from Reese, but Taylor had an opinion.
Oh my gosh.
Even like the most controversial things, like, do you like eating
on a very common food and in ways a lot of people enjoy it? My goodness. My goodness.
Oh man, I love it.
Do you want to talk about? Yeah, let's talk about a few things that maybe aren't controversial, at least between us 3, because I think we agree on these couple of products. We received some...
I can disagree for the sake of it.
Okay, I was gonna say,
sure. Hodos Labs, which is a company that has all natural ingredients. Mostly, I think everything we've gotten is all topical application, lotions, creams, oils,
Sprays, yep.
that kind of stuff. And they sent some stuff after our menthol conversation with the menthol gels. He's like, hey, we got menthol in this product. And
Is
I'd
that
like to send you
why?
some. That's exactly why. So look at me
amazing.
being controversial again. Opens avenues for us.
What?
Um,
That's not controversial.
But
No, that's not controversial.
Yeah.
You brought up that there's menthol.
the menthol gel,
You're like, look at
that's
me,
not
look at
controversial
this
to you?
Controversy of ghosts.
Or you're just adverse to it. Maybe that's,
Oh, the gel that sounds,
the gel itself.
I still haven't tried that. I'm still okay.
Yeah, someday. Someday
Okay,
you will,
Hoda.
and you'll be like, wow, yeah. But Hodo Slabs, you guys have been using it, and you were more chatty about you were agreeing that it's good stuff. And then I'm like, I better open this stuff and try it. And I agree. It's good stuff. But why is it good stuff?
Alex, what do you think?
Well, I have super sensitive skin and like very sensitive to smells and things too, because I'll like get migraines from perfumes or something if somebody walks by me. So I really appreciate that it's just like essential oils, very kind of like natural smells and scents, and there's nothing like that's gonna cause me to break out or anything.
Very
in there.
granola. I love it.
Mhm.
We're a granola
And
family.
I have been using the creams. I know Jared's been using it too for like muscle recovery and when he's got some soreness. So we like it a lot. I also have the spray that I sprayed on the back of my neck because when I was running on the road on Sunday, I feel like I injured my neck. Because I came home from that run and I'm like, I can't. I was like to Jared, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't put my neck
Wait, how
back.
did you injure your neck on a run?
I don't know. I think well, I know I was like tense because I was like trying to run as hard as I could.
Hmm.
And I think I just
Relaxed
I don't
runner
know,
is a fast runner.
got really tight up here because I was probably like running like this. But anyway, I put the spray on before I went to bed. And the next morning it felt better. And I don't know if I just wasn't that injured or if it worked. So there's my
The Lucid Dream spray.
Magnesium.
Yeah.
There's a warning about the lucid dreaming that it could cause.
I love that spray and like the scents. If anyone's a fan of like neroli, vetiver, and like cedarwood,
So good.
I mean,
So good.
It's just like the trifecta of smells I want to smell
put
like.
it in a candle.
Yes, I'm like give me a home scent as well.
Yep, I love it.
Make my countertops smell like this. But the magnesium, I love that, and I have restless leg. And I spray it on my legs. And again, same with you, where I'm like, I don't know if this is placebo, which I'll take it if it is.
Yeah.
But my legs felt good when I used it. But I will remind everyone that magnesium after shaving is never a great idea. And it always burns just a little extra. But it goes away. But you're just like, ooh, what is that? Oh, this is spicy. I loved it.
You feel it?
Yeah, the smells and like the Long Way hand cream, which is the same one as the magnesium spray.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I use it for my hands because my hands get so dry. Oh man. I don't know. It just the smell is like very aromatherapy, and then your hands are nice. I don't know. I love it.
It's not all greasy. You don't feel it for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I want to get it for everyone. I'm like, can I buy that? Can I get a discount code to buy this?
Yeah.
Like, great gifts.
I know.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Maybe we shouldn't have talked about it because you could have just been a great gift giver. You could be that person who's like, they gave me that really wonderful cream, gives me great dreams, all that kind of stuff.
Although, a side note on the great dreams, when I dream, and I guess like lucid isn't the right word, but very vivid dreams, all the dreams I got while I used this, like, were not pleasant at all.
Oh.
No.
Okay. See, I had, I had very clear dreams, and I don't always remember my dreams. That's the thing. So the one night that I used that magnesium spray, but I actually put it in like a lotion. With oils, you got to have like a little bit of a carrier. So put it on my feet and around my ankles, joints, stuff. And yeah, I had really vivid dreams, and I don't often, and I slept great. Magnesium is one of those things that I do have a supplement for, and that I really do believe in. I don't believe in all those things. But yeah, big fan of what Hodos Labs is doing. Even if it is placebo, I don't care. It smells great and it feels good to put on.
I mean, placebo effect like has been studied, and they've done research where like it works, a placebo pill. And I think even when someone knows it's a placebo, and someone double check this, I'm sure the science might be outdated at this point, but it was more effective than Prozac at treating depression.
I can see that.
Yeah. And you're just like, wow, the efficacy of placebo, even when you know it's placebo.
But even like down to the idea of like how belief and positive thinking and yada, yada, yada can like actually rewire your brain connections and build stronger myosin and all that kind of stuff. Like, even if it is placebo and it eventually helps you do some of that cognitively, what it can do for you physically and whatnot. So I believe that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Hodos Labs. Good stuff. They're
in Colorado too, right? Aren't they based in Colorado?
I don't know for sure. All their stuff is like Oregon. So
that's right.
A couple of cool places out there. Somewhere, that's obviously granola with all the nature-based products and stuff like that.
Nature-based.
Yeah. But something I wish was maybe a little more placebo, the Norda 055. And I would say initially, because coming off the 005, we all love that shoe, right?
Yeah.
Like it's actually a special shoe. Like landmark shoe is kind of what I said in our first thoughts of like, there's nothing quite like it. And I think with the 055 having more of that Arnatel midsole and basically everything the same, different upper construction, I think I really wanted it to be just a more cushioned version of the 005. And it is, but it isn't. And I think, it was a little disappointing at first. And I know you guys haven't run in it, but I have put a bunch of miles in it, and really tough miles to try to like kind of just make this more supple of a midsole, but it's really holding on. The density is actually better than if it wasn't as dense, if it was as soft as the 005. And it's getting better with miles. So I want to say that.
So it feels really firm?
So it doesn't feel firm. It's probably like a medium soft density, but it's a dense midsole compared to a lot of other, like, if you're running in the Brooks Cascadia Elite, that's a much softer, much more supple. This one's more dense. It's really a unique midsole. There's nothing else quite like it besides something that Norda has used, the Arnatel, or even the first Vibram midsole that they used on the original 001. It kind of has all those characteristics, but not as exciting. And if you guys hear that before you run in it, which usually we don't talk about shoes before we run, how does that make you feel?
This is probably like some kind of reviewer dissonance or something where I'm like, my experience will be different, even though like
that's what I think too.
Because you want it to be different. Yeah.
I like I have, I think I'm special, and mine will be different, and yours, that was just a weird fluke, and we're just totally different runners, and I will have a different experience. So that's where I'm at. I don't believe you.
That's exactly what I thought too. I'm like, it's fine. I'll love it. I'm not worried.
The thing is, it's not that I don't love it, because I am really enjoying it, but I had to shed my hopes and dreams that this was just going to be a higher stack 005. It is different, and I think it's actually different in ways that make this a whole lot more practical for going long, for going on more technical terrain. the 005 will remain a really nice tool to have in your toolbox. And this offers something different. I think a lot of people hoped that it would just be exactly what I hoped and probably what you guys hoped, just a higher stack version of the 005, but it's not. And the more I run in it, the more I'm actually very okay with that. I'm really, as this midsole is breaking in and as the reality of like, this one's going to last a very long time comes to fruition, it's like, this is still a special shoe, just not in the way that I was initially hoping.
Taylor, can you tell me about the heel collar?
Which is the only thing that I don't like about this shoe, honestly.
The only thing that stands out to me of like that might be an issue for Mike.
Yeah, and so the heel collar is more padded. It is, moderately structured, more structured than the 005, less structured than the 002, and less padded than the 002. What I really think is that they should have just took a 002 heel collar. It's their best one, most comfortable, most pleasing. Put it here and add the gaiter onto it, which is a completely integrated gaiter. But that's the only thing. On steep uphills, I'm getting a good amount of rub to where, like, as I run in it more, I'm going to have to put on some lubricant on my heel. But that's really the only thing so far that I'm like, that's like a check in the negative box for the shoe overall, which is a bummer because that's what so many people have had issues with Norda in general, is the heel collar.
My brain works in weird ways. But as you're describing this, the only thing I can think of that's like playing in my head is that this was, the 055 was the firstborn, right? Like, we're like, oh, the perfect child. So good that we should have another. And then you have the other and you're like, why aren't you as good as the first one? And then it becomes eventually
look at your older sibling and what they've accomplished.
Yeah, you get middle child syndrome, in which the second one cannot do anything correct. And then you have a third and you're like, well, fuck it. Nothing matters anymore. Do whatever you want. You have no curfew. And so I feel like that's the trend where it's like high expectations. This was such a good idea. And then it was like the fall from the prodigal son returns. And that's number two. We're coming to terms with it's just not the same as the firstborn. And we're like, I guess you're not going to the Ivy League, I suppose.
You'll never measure up.
Yeah, you'll never measure up to your sibling.
Who came first, Loaf or Odie?
Loaf, and Odie can never measure up.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, but that's the thing of like, once we do shed our conception of what it should be, I've had this with a few other shoes too, of like, once I just like step back from my own hopes and dreams about it, it's actually very legit. I think it's still like at 38 millimeters in the heel. I know that's scary for you, Reese.
Yeah.
But you can be rest assured that, I mean, I took this up Mount Lady Washington. Have you ever been up Mount Lady Washington?
I haven't, but
just
I know
a slog. Like it's right next to the Boulder Field on Longs Peak. It's like the closest view of Longs Peak you can get over Chasm Lake, up to over 13,000 feet. Had pretty much every kind of technical terrain you could have to get up that peak. And this thing handled the whole day. Wonderful. Like, I wasn't insecure about my footing at all, whether hiking or running fast downhill. It's still a very stable package, even though it is 38 millimeters and it's more dense. But I think that's one of the reasons why it is more stable. So I think a lot of hopes and dreams. I know.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of a middle child. Stable.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Self-assured. Why is it okay?
See, I'm the youngest, and by the time they got,
that's why this podcast is so fun.
Wait, we're all the youngest.
Yeah,
it's problematic.
Yeah, that's all of us. By the time our parents got around us, they were like, "Oh my God, just don't go to jail twice, please."
Literally, like my parents would just open up the paper. You know how like local papers used to publish all the public records of like who got
Still
arrested, who got a
still
seatbelt
do if you
violation.
live in
Do
Estes
they?
Park. Yeah.
My parents would just like go immediately to them, like search for my brother's name, and like 9 times out of 10, he was like in there for something.
Again.
Yeah.
So I was fine.
I love that. I will say, like, I was so lame. I've been consistently lame forever, and so
you
my parents
always
never
say that you're lame. You're not lame.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like
you're forming an identity around being lame.
Okay, I wasn't lame. I was an early to bed person my whole life, but I never had a curfew because my mom was like, she was like, you would call us at sleepovers when you were like 12 because people weren't going to bed and you wanted to come home. And she's like, and I would have to pick you up so that you could go to bed. And she's like, all through high school, you were like, you would have a party at our house and you would be in bed and everyone would still be at the bonfire at our house. And I was like, yeah.
Sounds about right.
Checks out.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You need to go home. They're still up.
Well.
Yeah. So Norda, I'm excited to run in it.
You should be excited. Just let go a little bit of, it still has some of those characteristics, but it's not as wowing. But it gets better. It gets better with time. So anybody who like tries it and like, meh, not what I wanted, just buy it and run in it because it will be undoubtedly like one of those shoes that last. What did Rachel tell us? Like she had 1,000 miles in it almost, or like 600 some, and she still feels like it's good. Absolutely. It's going to be one of those shoes that can do that as long as your heel can stay on your body.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm excited to try.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be. But we're getting into summer. Trail running is happening all over the world. And especially in America, in this next 10-day segment of Trailapalooza out in Tahoe. I'm going to call it Trailapalooza. That's what I'm going to refer to it as. The Great American Trailapalooza.
Being controversial again.
Here we are.
I'm waiting for you, the road surfer. Instead of like a nice one, I want that comical horn to like, you know what I'm talking about? When you like, when you roll up and you're suspension
getting like
is
the
kind
big
of
RV, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm getting like the big RV. So that's like the first point of excitement. And it is going to be myself. Originally, I thought we would have more people. However, I did check in to try to get a smaller size, which would have been more practical. But I'm equally as excited because I am going to that's going to be my mobile office. I'm going to find great places to sleep in that. I'm going to, you know how you were saying with, what was the internet that you were talking about? Starlink. If you have your Starlink mobile thing, you become the person to go to for connection. I'm going to be the person at the race that people just like, oh, you got a table in there? You got a bathroom too? Like, I'm going to be my own aid station right before. I'm not going to let anybody use it. I'm like, I do, but it's mine. I'm really excited about that. So that's definitely kicking off Trailapalooza. I'm going to drive from San Francisco to Tahoe. It's like 3-ish hours. And I love road tripping. So that's going to be fun on roads I've never been on. And then it's Broken Arrow time. Which, have either of you been to Broken Arrow?
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
I have not.
Well, the reason why I want to call this the Great American Trailapalooza now, as of like 2 minutes ago, is because it's first Broken Arrow, which is one of the most competitive. It's probably one of the best run events in the US. And it's just one of the biggest, what we would call short course events in the whole world, actually. And so it's just a really, really cool event. Brendan Madigan is the race director, and I know he has a lot of help there too. And just like a great guy doing it for the right reason. So no matter what brand they're working with as their sponsors, like they have a great team that are just like, it started as a bunch of people wanting to share some of their home and favorite mountains with other people. And so it like continues to be that every year that I've been there. It feels that has that same sense about it. And so I really appreciate that. And even now with ACG, I know there will be some like differences when you're just looking at it, but they really want to maintain the feel of like this really high class, really like truly a world class event in world class running. Yeah, all of the routes go up to the top of is it Weishu Peak or something like that? Can't remember exactly what it's called. It starts with a W. I'll learn it and get back to you on that one. But it's just a lot of great racing. The vibes are high. I think it's an event that anybody could find something they love, whether you're doing the VK or the 3-day like Broken Arrow. What's it called? At any rate, you do the VK, the 46K, and 23K on 3 consecutive days. And they have your total time will get you in the overall rankings for that too. So
have you ever ran it, Taylor?
I ran the VK a couple years ago.
Okay.
Which is as hard as everybody says it is, but it's fairly short-lived. It's like around a half hour of just gutting it out uphill.
Grinding.
To the peak. And then, and so you have everything from that, like high intensity, Tim Tollefson at the top telling you to spit out the blood, like that kind of mentality around racing. And then you have like the 46K, which is 2 loops of their premier 23K route. So, and I'm going to do the 23K this year, which is again, like the premier race. That's where most of the prize money is. There's like $164,000 being awarded over the weekend to these various races.
Win us some money, Taylor.
What was that?
Win us some money.
Oh, dude. I've won money a couple times and I'm like, this feels weird, actually. I'm just out here like trying to do what I enjoy doing it. But I mean, I won't be winning money. But if I do for some reason, drinks on me. Anybody who's listening. But yeah. So I'm excited for Broken Arrow. I like that it's kind of like 3 separate events and not just one long event itself. So it's like starts with Broken Arrow, then goes to Trailcon, which is really gaining momentum. It's still kind of in its infancy. It's a mix of like one day is just kind of like the internal stakeholders day is what it's called. And so a lot of people who are within the industry doing some panels, just some networking opportunities and that. And then the other 2 days are where the public can come in and also enjoy some great panels. There's a vendor fair, all that kind of stuff. What Reese would call a little bit dentist convention, but for trail runners.
It was pretty good. And I do remember my, like a core memory for whatever reason was there was some chapstick company and I was so desperate for chapstick that I had to like,
gimme.
I had to like follow their Instagram to get the chapstick.
Ambassador?
Yeah, I like had to I was like, I will do anything right now to get this free chapstick. I don't know. I will follow your Instagram. And you have to like show it to them. And I was like, I'm dying. Please
on
give
your
me this
Instagram
chapstick.
burner account.
Yeah, my Instagram burner, the ones I don't use. Yeah, I remember that. It was a cool event. Like there's it's not like quite as crazy, I think, as some of the UTMB events, which are like heavy UTMB branding. It is cool that there's like lots of brands that show up. And so that's nice. And there's not like a headquarters necessarily that feels like a headquarters. And it's cool because there are it's in the Olympic like little village, or not Olympic village, but Olympic village. It's people are just like also there on vacation and they have nothing to do with this.
What
like,
the heck?
There's like a wedding going
vacation.
You see like wedding parties coming through and then people like me running a beer mile and or like having dinner and then there's beer mile people around it. So they do a good job of like mixing it up and creating like a interesting, fun kind of chaotic scene.
For sure.
for everyone that's visiting, they're like, what are you people doing? What weird Burning Man is this?
That's basically it. And I would say the biggest value of this is really the networking piece. Like a lot of people from the industry are there. If you're just a fan and want to like bump into some of your favorite trail runners, that kind of stuff, like that opportunity is there. If you want group runs or checking out new product or hearing from, whatever panel, there's a panel pretty much for everybody. Like, I think there's a lot of value in it. And I think the way to make it more successful compared to the last couple years, I was at the first two technically, is just to make space for the everyday trail runner. Like, I wouldn't want this just to be the insiders special of like, for the trail running industry. Like, we get to see people all over the place for those purposes. I'm glad there is a day like that, but I'm glad the whole thing isn't like that. As it would have kind of been your first or last year, Reese, a little more. So they're really trying to broaden that scope, bring in a lot more people. It doesn't cost anything. So I think if you're just live, breathe, and eat trail running or curious about it, like, I think there's something there for you for sure.
I remember the first one. What stuck out to me was like, I think I was there the first year they did it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just felt like a very homogenous group of people. It wasn't like they didn't have too many diverse perspectives. I feel like they're doing better.
Yeah.
In that area,
exactly.
Which is cool to see.
In that first year, what is like kind of like a beta year.
Yeah.
We were there.
Like,
and so,
yeah.
And I guess I understand from that perspective, they were just like trying to try things out, seeing how this might work. Mm-hmm. And then last year they were calling their inaugural year, which had a little more of the aspects that we were talking about. And this year is like, okay, a little more on top of all that. Very much fashioning it, but it makes it a really enticing thing. Like, if you are a big trail runner and want a 10-day summer vacation that's just saturated with trail running and all things trail running, go to Broken Arrow, come to Trailcon, and then stay through Western States. Like,
Broken Arrow is Saturday, Trailcon is Tuesday, Monday?
So Broken Arrow is technically, I think ACG has some things going on Thursday night, which is tonight as we're recording. Friday is the VK. And then they have events all throughout the day. Saturday is the 46K, events all throughout the day. Sunday is the premier 23K, events all throughout the day. So Sunday is kind of the last day Broken Arrow. Monday is when Trailcon starts, which is kind of that, the industry day. And then, or stakeholders day is what they call it. And then Tuesday.
With that one? Is he presenting?
Yeah, so Thomas will be part of a panel on Wednesday.
Okay.
I will be moderating a panel on Tuesday. So those are things that, I mean, not the thing I would normally want to do, but it was an honor to be asked. And I'm excited to just talk with people. It's all about product and like the product folks from a bunch of different brands. So more our people in that sense. And then Thomas's panel will be about just small creators, basically, or small individual business owners, creators, that kind of panel. So
cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And then you get into the craziness of Western States, which is like Thursday morning, we'll be doing a shakeout run with Hoka. Thursday night, beer mile, which Alex, you're going to be out there too. Are you going to do the beer mile or are you going to do the seltzer like Reese, which I feel like the seltzer would be even harder, honestly.
I did the non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I got through, I think I did 2 laps and then I started on my 3rd beer and I watched someone throw up next to me and I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. I think this will be my second
Not
DNF
what I wanted
ever.
Out.
Yeah. I'm like,
officially recorded on your Ultra sign up.
Yeah. Javelina 100 mile and beer mile.
The beer mile. I think it needs to be on there.
Yeah. I can't do either.
It is always fun. And again, not a lot of this, like the high saturation of people, lots of intensity around the sport. It's not all stuff that I'm normally into, but for this 10 days, it's a fun thing to be a part of. And I'm not out here doing beer miles. The only beer miles I've ever done are at the Western States beer mile, but I'll do it again. It's both fun and terrible at the same time. And then Friday is the High Camp Challenge, which is run from the village all the way up to really the top tram that goes up, the main tram. And then you can ride the tram down, which is, did you enjoy that last year, Reese?
We ran down.
Yeah, we ran down after
Yeah.
Burrito. Yeah. But I enjoyed that too. It's like a fun, unique, really low key race for those who want to just do a low key thing. You can race it hard too, but basically a vertical challenge as well. And then food at the top. I'm always
I would
in
say
it
it's
for
like
food.
a graded vertical challenge.
Yeah.
Where it is up, but you're not. I would say it's not like straight. It's runnable up because you're on like
Yeah.
a catwalk essentially. For most of it, it was cool. It was really cool being up top and like seeing. Like they have a really good situation with all the food and the people, and there was like a band playing, and that was nice. I'm still impressed that you ate that burrito and then ran downhill. Like I think my colon would have fallen out on every step down. I'd have been, oh no.
I couldn't waste it. Yeah, and you guys were ready to go. And the one thing, if you travel with Thomas, when he's ready to go, you're going.
Like all
There's
of a
your
sudden he's
warning,
just done.
Alex. Yeah. He's like, okay, time to go. You better get in the car and buckle up. So I ate that burrito and got down. And then, I mean, the real gem of the weekend is obviously Western States. And there's just a lot of special things around that race. There's history, there's competition, there's a reason why it's kind of the premier event in the US. A lot of people equate it to like a Boston type feel for trail running. And that's the week. And really, if you are there, you have to go to Golden Hour. Have to. It's really is the best part of it. So that's it in a nutshell. I didn't know I was going to talk so long about the Great American Trailapalooza, but I do want to talk about Western States a bit and perhaps like a little bit of the history, but also why is it such a special thing? I know a lot of our audience won't have that trail runner's perspective of what is Western States. For a lot of us, it's just like there's a lot of understood information about it. What is it? Yes, it is a 100-mile race, but it's a whole lot more like when you're able to experience it. So kind of do that here. But Reese, you knew about Western States not because of a running race initially, but how it started.
Yes, the
It's a
Tevis
nice
Cup.
segue.
No, yeah, the Tevis Cup, which is a horse, mostly Arabians do endurance events, but Arabian horses. But it's a long distance endurance event for horses, and normally along the way, there's like vet checks, which is kind of like their aid station where the horse gets checked to make sure they're all good. And then at one point, there was someone who's like, I could probably do this faster than a horse, which like leave it to a human, you know?
Didn't his horse go lame during the?
Horses do go lame during
Yeah.
it. But yeah,
wasn't it Gordy's horse that went lame? And
yes.
Yep.
And yeah. And so if your horse goes lame, normally
what does that mean? They just like can't go?
it's like you're getting injured, like you have a stiff something or other. I don't know what happened, but it could have hurt its foot or it was like favoring one or the other, but they do have to do like wellness checks throughout.
And then they'll pull the horse if it's not. Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
And yeah, so it started kind of as that and spiraled pretty significantly out from that. But I would say I don't know how popular the Tevis Cup is because I'm not in like the horse endurance space. And that's pretty niche in general, more niche than ultra running. But for me, I'm like Western, just maybe it's just so in my view, but that feels like there's no convention, there's no Trailapalooza for Tevis.
Yeah. And I would say, yeah, as for my particular needs and desires around trail running, Western States does not appeal to me. Having been there, I do want, I want to be there every year. I want to support. I would really actually love to pace and crew and do all that, but I would never want to run it myself. It's just, there's so many unique conditions, from the heat, the runnability, there's just so much about it that I'm like, that does not appeal to me personally. The idea that it's like kind of like the Boston of trail running, that does, from like, it would be awesome to, like, if I had the opportunity, if someone was like, hey, here's a ticket,
Here's a bib.
would I take it? I would have a really hard time saying no, even though it doesn't like fill everything in my cup for what trail running is. But it would be really hard to say no. Would you guys want to do Western States? Like, based on the course, based on the running?
Alex?
Probably not. I really like going. Like, I liked our friend, I don't know, 8 years ago, got in and we went out and crewed him, and I was going to pace him, but he ended up having an injury. But I like the environment. I like going. I don't think it's necessarily like suited to my strengths. And also like just the heat management is like something, even when it was a little hot at Cocodona, which it wasn't that hot, I like really suffered. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to try to like play with fire over and over again on hot races.
For me, I'm probably in a similar boat to both of you, where if someone gave me a ticket, I would hate that I got it, because I would feel obligated because there's so much prestige around it. I enjoy watching people complete the event because I know how much effort it takes to get into it. And I think the effort it takes to get into it, well, I'm like all about setting like absolutely ridiculous, unreasonable goals. I think for me, the like hoops to jump through aren't fulfilling enough. And I think of all the places, of all the races that have lotteries, I think I definitely have like some problems is, I think this one has like higher barrier to entry than most. And I could go into that in very detailed length at some point, but I think it's just the ticket gathering to me, it's such like a costly thing. And I'm like, oh, if you're someone that doesn't live near a qualifying race, you have to pay to go do that every year. Or if you do live near one, maybe you can only do that one every single year, which feels so limiting given how many races there are. And so I wish there was a way to make it a little more equitable.
And that's the hard thing too. Like, as our sports grow, or as our sport grows, it's coming to terms with the fact that like there are tens of thousands of people every single year that want to do Western States. Same with UTMB, same with Hard Rock, same with like, there's some really high profile races for good reason, like different pulls for sure. Like, I think a lot of people who might want to do Western States might not want to do Hard Rock per se, kind of for the same reasons we're saying. But from the prestige standpoint, it's like, oh, but I want to, like, that's a really historic thing. But yeah, I agree too, of like, it'd be good because you have to qualify. You have to have a certain amount of tickets. So, which means you're running a certain subset of races to be able to get tickets. You have to finish those in a certain distance. And that qualifies you to even get into the lottery system, which the lottery system is also graded depending on how many tickets you have, how many years you've put in, all that. It just makes it harder and harder and harder. And I know for some people that is like really worth it. Awesome. There's just not enough for me personally about the races that you need to do to get in, even about Western States itself. Like, it's the same reason why I haven't like tried to go do Boston. There's just not enough for me in the build up to that particular event for me to like really want to do it.
And as a spectator, like, I'm not normally like, I don't watch sports. I don't find them very entertaining, but I do. It was really cool seeing people do Western, knowing how much effort goes into getting there. And that makes it special, where I'm like, oh shit, you've probably put in like years
Yeah.
to do this. Like, this is a dream come true. You are going to do everything you can. And I think everyone collectively knows that. And there's like a really big emotional pull around that. So on one hand, I'm like, ugh, not for me. But seeing people get through it or get into it or start it, you're like, damn, this is another level of commitment that I just can't do. I'm like, give me a random lottery.
Yeah.
Like, give me the same chance as everyone else. The effort. Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah. That would be a good conversation someday to talk about lottery systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of our thoughts on all that and the different ways they do it, because even Hard Rock and Western States do it slightly differently. But yeah, and to your point, Reese, like I think that's one of the reasons why there's so many great stories that comes out of an event like Western States. Not only is there the prestige and history around it, but people spend so much time, so much effort, and are so dedicated just to get to that start line. And then really like the celebration of it all is to go do Western States. But it's certainly not a given all the different factors that make it a really hard race itself. Yeah.
It's just a funny like prize. Like, I have a friend, he's been trying to get in for years and does like crazy races to get in there. There's some like Canadian Death March or something, all these crazy races. And I'm like, I love that the reward, if you get in, is like you get to run 100 miles in the blazing heat
in 100 degrees.
And your chance of finishing is also low. And so it's not guaranteed. And so you're like, wow, you are motivated in a different way than I am. And I love it. Good for you. And not in like a pedantic way, but just like incredible that that's motivating you. That's to me, I'm like, ooh, that is so many uncertainties.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Well, that's like listening to the whole, because on these races, like when Javelina comes up, when UTMB comes up, Western States, I do like having it on the background and listening, because they pull from a lot of different stories and be able to can share that along the way. Like that's just part of the viewership of it. But my favorite media that comes out about any of this, and like there's a few brands that really do it well, that are just really cognizant of more than just their elite athletes, that are like, hey, this person actually overcame this to come here and did this. Or like some of the most compelling ones are like, they actually failed while trying to do that, but it meant so much to them, and this is why. Like those are really powerful things. And I think we find that across running, but it's so saturated in these types of events.
Well, I hope you both have a good time out there.
Yeah.
I'll be horseback riding. So
You're on the other side, Reese.
Yeah. I'll actually be, oh no, it's actually the next week. That's when I'm interviewing.
I was going to say, it's not your camp.
No, I'm doing a horseback riding thing, but no, I'm interviewing Stanford.
Imagine that.
For our podcast. But anyway. Okay. Well, I hope you both have fun at Trailapalooza. That'll be great.
The Great
Also,
American
Trailapalooza. Too controversial.
Can we please get Believe in the Run hats or shirts that just say I'm a fan? just a fan here.
I'm a fan. Kind of
Just
like
a
our
brand
so hard hats. Yeah. Big fan. I'm a fan.
Big fan here. Big trail running fan.
That's me.
Fan of the sport.
Cool. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, this is Taylor giving you a little bit of something that I wouldn't normally do. You get a little monologue. It'll end up kind of being a little reflection audio journal almost, because I just was at Broken Arrow, and I've been to Broken Arrow, and I wanted to just reflect on my experience there with ACG, and also talk a little bit about the road surfer that I'm in, because I have had a great experience in this too, before we get into the Trailcon and the Western States week. So I just wanted to really just give that enough space for me to be able to reflect and talk about it. But first, especially if
you are going to be in the Palisades area, this episode is coming out Wednesday. So there's still, today of Trailcon to go. And then tomorrow is when all of the festivities for Western States start. So Thursday is really like the ramp up toward the biggest race in the US. And so there's a lot of excitement going on. We're going to be there with Hoka. There's a shakeout at 7:30 in the morning on Thursday, free. There's a beer mile in the evening on the same day, free. Come the next day, you could sign up for the Ultra sign up for free. The High Camp Challenge, which is a challenge that goes from the main village where Western States starts, and it does most of the first climb that all the Western States runners are doing. And so you get to go up to the High Camp where the aid station is, and it's just a free challenge, a vertical challenge. You can get breakfast at the top, ride the tram down if you want. You can run on down. That's preferred by us. Again, free and a lot of fun. And then the next day is the start of Western States. So stick around for that too, obviously, to be able to see the start, go up to the escarpment. Nowadays, starting last year, you can now ride the tram from the bottom to the top. So if it's an accessibility thing, like there's that option now. And you still have a little bit of a hike to get up there, at least to the top of the escarpment. But you could stop at High Camp because they would come right by there too. So that's all like available and free, just as like a trail running fan or someone who's curious to see what's going on or be with us doing some of these things. Like, please come out. It really is so much fun. And honestly, Western States for me as a racer doesn't appeal, but everything else does. I love being around this during this week and getting to share it with a lot of other great like-minded people. And my favorite experience is sharing it with someone new. And so that's, please come. I think you would be able to find something you really enjoy. And outside of those things, there's a lot of stuff going on around Olympic Village. There's trails from Olympic Village. We're on the other side of kind of the mountain right now, just in the next valley over from Olympic Village. There's lots of great trails, a little quieter over here. So I think there really is something for everybody. So again, please come out. Would really enjoy to have you. But I wanted to talk about kind of my experience so far. And so I've spent the last weekend at Broken Arrow Skyrace. And for those of you that don't know about Broken Arrow, it's really another premier event in the trail running space. It is the largest trail race in the US in terms of like having, I believe, maybe that's something I should check. I think it has the most trail participants or race participants of any trail race in the US. And so that's really unique. And not only that, it has quality on lockdown. And a lot of that is partly because of the terrain you're on and being just doing a really aesthetic loop out of Olympic Village, which are some of my favorite races right now. Just an aesthetic loop. Doesn't matter really how long or distance or terrain, but just a beautiful loop. And it feels like, to me, like it still feels grassroots, even though it is the biggest event out there. And so, and I will talk about that and like how ACG and like, did it affect it positively, negatively, very neutral. We'll get to that here pretty soon. But I just had a great weekend. And if you don't know about Broken Arrow, look it up, Broken Arrow Skyrace. And there's nowadays, it started with just 3 races. Now there's up to, so we have the 11K there. That gives you a really good taste of the first section of the premier 23K race. You have the 18K, which kind of cuts off that 11K section, but gives you kind of the rest of the course. So more of the alpine stuff. Then you have the 23K, which is the full loop, the original race. It's really just like the brainchild. It feels like when people come visit me in the mountains, I have some routes that I really just love showing people. And it feels like that. This is a route that showcases some of the best that that valley has to offer. And it's probably a route that one of the race directors, maybe Brendan, has done for years and years and years. And they're like, you know what? There's opportunity here to share that with a lot of other people. And so that's what it feels like. And so that 23K route is really the premier one and the race that I've wanted to do really since Broken Arrow started. And so that's one thing. And then you could go from the 23K up to the 46K, which is 2 loops of that, which is just absolutely brutal, because I raced the 23K and it would be really hard to imagine just running by the finish and doing a full nother loop like that. But I mean, there's something for everybody. And I guess there's even like the Iron Face Challenge, which incorporates some more like Via Ferrata and rock climbing, kind of more of the alpinist style of racing. And so that's there. There's also kid races, like on Sunday, Sunday, the same day as the 23K, there's like a youth kids race that's around a mile long. Kids get to do that. So while you're waiting maybe for the other parent or someone in your family or group to finish, you can, get the kids involved in a race and have fun that way. And there's also a U20 youth race. And so just like there's so many offerings for pretty much everybody in your family if they want to engage in it. Otherwise, they have the whole finish line is pretty much a party the whole weekend. And so there's something to do for everybody. You can go out and hike. You could enjoy just being around the vibes, and you're in this Olympic Village. So there's restaurants, all of that just right there in one central location. It's really unique that way. And if you think of like Cirque Series, that's a lot of the reason why they're being so successful too, because you have one base camp where the race comes and goes from, and you just have all the other amenities right there. So from like a crewing standpoint or a spectator standpoint, it's also an awesome race. But, I prefer to do the race, get out there and try some mountain running hard. And it's just spectacular. But I flew in on Friday to San Francisco. I went over to Road Surfer, which is right by the airport, and I was able to pick up my rig here. I got the Family Freedom, which is a little bigger than I was kind of hoping for. We were originally gonna have some other people join, and so this was what was available. And I'm used to driving a rig like this because when I was a coach, I would drive kids around in the minibus. And so it's about that size. And so if you're familiar with something like that, it was really manageable, actually. Obviously bigger than a car, bigger than a van to go around, but it's really like, I've really enjoyed having this, cafe table, having a kitchenette, shower and bathroom back here. Even as an individual, it's been a really great setup. I was able to pull over in some national forest for a couple nights, really fulfill like the road tripping and the camping aspect that I really like when I get to go do trail running adventures, which isn't always the case when we come to an event like this. And so I really loved it just as like a base camp for me personally, mobile base camp. And then I would park it at Broken Arrow. And when I needed a little break or to do work or to take a nap, whatever, I just walk out to the Family Freedom camper. And it's really enhanced my experience in terms of like flexibility and, really checking that box for me in terms of adventure, because I was able to road trip on roads that I haven't before, explore some national forests that I hadn't before, and then just have home is where you park it. So I've really loved it. And I'm choosing to, hang out in it still and use it as a mobile base camp throughout the week. So check out Road Surfer if you want just a lot of different options, and maybe not to stay in the Olympic Village or get an VRBO. It's going to be kind of check your boxes of transportation and a place to sleep. I like it. But Broken Arrow itself, again, I've already described it, but this year one of the differences, and I was, again, kind of skeptical of this, ACG. ACG is their new presenting sponsor. They brought a lot more prize money, the biggest prize purse than any other race on the globe, any other trail race. So for the 23K event itself, the payout for, and again, this is the premier event and part of the World Mountain Running Association Cup as well. So you can earn points for getting into be able to represent your country at the World Mountain Running Championships as well. And so it has a lot going into that race, and the winners would come out with $30,000 each. And then it kind of cascades pretty quickly after that. $12,000 to second place, $6,000 to third place, and then so on all the way paying out through the top 10. And so that's, a lot of money for trail racing specifically that we've never seen before. And so that's like brings a certain level of competition and the type of runners that are going to be here. And when you think of a grassroots event, that's not always necessarily involved. But the thing with Broken Arrow is that it's always been a very competitive field. But that's just like, you know, the tip of like the top 1% of racers are in that elite field. And so the rest of us get to enjoy the mountain at our own pace, own leisure, and still like vie for age group awards and stuff like that. And so you always kind of wonder when you bring so much competition and money to an event like this, how is that going to alter? So I was keeping an eye on that, but also ACG brings with everything ACG does. We were out at Gorge Waterfalls, got to see how they activate there and really leveled up that experience. And when you level up, you don't want to sell out. I know that's a unique thing about brands and trail racing right now, is that there is that opportunity to kind of level up in some areas and really lack in other areas. So having been to Broken Arrow before, I kind of wanted to see, does it feel different because ACG's presence, in positive or negatively? And I'll get to that here pretty soon. But on Saturday, I rolled up to the 46K, and we took the tram right away to High Camp, which is the last aid station for the 23K, 18K, and you know, you hit that aid station twice and it would be your last one for the 46K. So we were spectating the 46K, and you just get to feel the vibes. Like ACG up at that particular aid station, they wanted it to feel more like a party. All the other aid stations felt very standard, very well stocked, lots of great volunteers. Thank you to everybody who was out there. But this particular aid station, they had a DJ out of the back of a Rivian. They had, you know, just a lot of people who could just take the tram up. So there's just people on all sides of the trail. And it's kind of, they want to send you down the mountain with good vibes, and definitely did that. I'll have a recap video that shares some of that for sure. And yeah, that it really checked that box. But if every aid station was like that, as a trail runner and someone who just likes these experiences more for the running aspect of it, I think that would be a miss. But because it was one and it was very, you know, positioned at a particular spot on the course where people would need a boost to get down the mountain, I appreciated that particular spot right there. But all the other aid stations, like I said, were just fairly standard, really well maintained, lots of great volunteers, and like, again, can't thank everybody enough for doing that. So that was one thing. Had a great time. We headed down the mountain. Oh, actually, I wanted to shout out Liv from Fort Collins, part of the Front Range Elite. I was out just getting some video, following up some of the front runners, and just enjoying spectating as well. And I came up on Liv, who had a massive fall. I'm guessing she just clipped a toe on one of the more technical sections of coming out of the High Camp aid station. It goes from like fairly smooth open road to quickly one of the more technical spots on the single track that you would experience on the Broken Arrow race. I'm guessing she just clipped a toe and went down, but her leg was wrecked. For those of you who are squeamish, you might want to look away, or maybe I'll put up a photo here. But she was such a good sport, and what helped her get back to the aid station, because her leg was messed up enough that it probably wouldn't have been a good idea for her to keep going. But shout out to Liv for making a smart decision on a tough day when you were competing up near the top. And so that's always tough to do that, but I mean, live to fight another day. After that, we went down, got to see some of the finishers kind of throughout the rest of the day, and just prepare for our race the next day, which was the 23K. And I was able to choose which race I wanted to do. I've done the vertical challenge in the past, and that was wonderful. So I kind of checked that box. And I was thinking, like, you know, I haven't been training a lot. So I almost went with like the 11K or the 18K, just to kind of keep within, you know, an appropriate distance if I wanted to put a hard effort out there. But I wanted to do the 23K because it is the full loop. It's the original experience of Broken Arrow. And this year especially, every year it is extremely competitive, but this year it was probably the most competitive field ever assembled on U.S. soil for a trail race. And that's saying a lot, because there's some races, especially like next weekend's Western states, that have, you have to get golden tickets and prove that you earn your spot there to be in the elite field. Broken Arrow is one of those you can just sign up and register as an elite. But even so, that prize purse brought a lot of people out. And again, this course itself and just how well the team puts everything together, there's a lot of people who choose to come out here as kind of a midsummer test as well. And so this year, though, it just leveled it up a lot. And so there was ACG athletes galore. I think they had a lot of their global athlete team come out for this particular race, try to get in the money. But then you had everybody else in this short course distance who really focuses on these short course races throughout the year. And so it was like right from the start at 8 o'clock when the women's elite wave went off, it was like with purpose into the mountains, and it was really cool to see and experience. And then the elite men went off, and then it was the waves of what they called like the age group division. And so I got to go out in technically wave 3 and follow up all those elites. And as you start the course, kind of run across the parking lot and are immediately dumped onto a pretty steep mile, and it's kind of chunky as well. I chose to wear, I was kind of going back and forth. Do I wear the ACG Zagama? Do I wear the ACG Ultrafly? What I really wanted, though, is I've seen it out there. There's an ACG prototype that some pros have been using that seemed like it would really fit this niche. But I went with the Ultrafly. I wanted it to be a little more lighter, have a little bit more responsiveness on some of those broader downhills that I knew would be coming. And I was a little bit worried on more technical segments. However, it actually did just fine. I did have we talked a lot about like the stiffness in the midfoot of the carbon plate. And so on some technical sections where you would land more midfoot or maybe have a rock under the inside of your foot, you really felt the rigidity of that plate. And if you were putting enough force on it, it was fine. But if you were just kind of quickly pattering along, it would kind of shoot you off to the side. But for the most part, I was actually really surprised. And I took the gamble knowing that a lot of the technical sections we were going to experience were on the uphill, and so there's not as much force coming into your foot that way. So a lot of the more downhill running was less technical, and so I kind of took a gamble with the ACG Ultrafly, and it actually ended up being just fine. So I appreciated that. A little more versatile than there's other shoes that I would choose for this particular event, but for the ACG offerings, it was a good one. Zagama would have been really nice too with the overall fit and just the cushion underfoot. If you're going to be out there for longer, like that would have been an obvious choice. If I did the 46K, I would have went with the Zagama as well. Or if you're doing the 3-day challenge, blanking on it right now, but if you do, it's not the Iron Crown. Oh man. Triple Crown. There you go. If you do the Triple Crown, Zagama would have been my easy choice too. Probably the Ultrafly for the uphill, or the Kiger, honestly. Do the uphill, and then I would do the other days with the Zagama, just because the fit is really conducive to technical terrain, and the cushion underfoot, it's really hard to match that one right now. And so I went with the Ultrafly, and it was a good choice for me. When you start out, again, it's a little chunky, so I was a little more careful on that section and steep, but then you do this section that goes past one of the cross sections of the Western States Trail, and it's that fabled California carpet, just really smooth, really soft dirt, and you can just run. And it was an earlier part of the race where the sun was just coming through the trees and just like really picturesque, and because of the runners, the dust was coming up off the ground and just really set you up for getting excited for the race ahead. And so you have an initial climb, you do that smoother section, and then you do another climb that really kind of kicks you in the butt. It's really steep. I know a lot of people in this race focus on that last climb up to the top of Washishu Peak, but with the ladder. But there's a lot of other sections you need to be mindful of that are just steep, loose. You get some great ridge running, like true ridge running, which is kind of the hallmark of this whole course. You go across Red Dog Ridge up to Washishu Peak, pretty much always seeing either the Olympic Village on one side and you can see Lake Tahoe on the other side. So it's just like one of the most picturesque races I've ever been a part of. It's really world class in that sense. And then you get to the top, and then you think, oh, I'm at the top, and I'm just gonna gun it all the way downhill now. However, you do need to be mindful if you're gonna do this race that you do come down from the top for maybe a mile, mile and a half, and then you keep going down, 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 really steep on some of these access roads, fire roads, really smooth running, but again, really steep, quads are hurting, and at some point you're realizing, oh, I just passed where the aid station is, and I'm gonna have to come all the way back up this. So it's like something like an 800-foot climb that is just not on the forefront of your mind during this race, but it's a good thing to know about. And so it's really, I think, from the top aid station over to the high camp aid station, which is the last one, it was 3.6 miles total. And so you have that last climb that kind of also kicks you in the butt, but then you have that party at high camp and you experience that aid station, and it really is truly downhill the rest of the way on some fairly technical terrain. So I wanted to have enough energy, even though, 30 miles a week can only do you so much in terms of fitness. And so I knew I'd be pushing it from that aspect. And I just wanted to have my whereabouts when I went across that next technical section after high camp, so I could start running, more fruitfully some of the downhills toward the finish. And yeah, it was just a phenomenal day out there. Another shout out to Adam Mary, which he was in the elite race, ACG athlete, and just didn't have the day. And so even though our wave started 20 minutes after them, I ended up catching him just before the peak, and then we kind of went back and forth a little bit. And I just know how it feels to have a tough day out there, and really, like, kudos for him. There would have been so many spots to hop off and kind of exit the course with dignity too, knowing that just happens at elite races, but he finished it out. And I was really impressed. And on the downhill, his downhill legs are so strong. I was just kind of trying to get to the finish, and he comes on past really graciously, and finish that thing out. So shout out Adam Mary as well. And then when you're down at the bottom, you come through, you get to kind of do a little bit of a loop around the village and come through the center of it to the finish, where you get to finally ring that bell, or ring DOS bell, as Nike printed on all the race shirts, which I do have to admit, I usually opt out of a lot of the swag. And I actually retracted my statement there. I said I didn't want it, and then I saw some of the people with the shirts. I'm like, actually, can I get that? It's a really cool shirt. And so I got that. But yeah, and then after that, kind of the typical race things. I sat by a tree, let my cramps subside a little bit, cheered on some folks, had, an after race meal, and just enjoyed the vibes of race day. And so it really felt like Broken Arrow, or just like a typical trail race from that standpoint. Just really, really well done. And the thing, like I said from the top, is I wanted to see if ACG's involvement altered the experience at all. And I would say it did, but it didn't at the same time. When you showed up to the village, plastered ACG, you feel like you're in ACG Town, USA. And from that aspect, yes, their presentation and kind of leveling up that side of this event was phenomenal. It's great. So when you have that kind of experience and that kind of continuity around the race course and at the village where a lot of people would be experiencing it, they did a really great job at presenting. But I really, really, again, haven't experienced Broken Arrow before, and this is a race that many people come back to every single year just to be part of it, whether they're running, volunteering, racing. It's a really special event, and if they were to alter that side of it at all, that would be a major negative in my mind. But really, in my mind, ACG kind of knew their lane here. They knew they wanted to show up in terms of marketing presence, sure, but they were really there to support the mission of Broken Arrow itself and what was going on there. And I feel like they did that. I feel like Broken Arrow itself as an event still felt the same. You still have the same advisory council. You still have, the same people investing into this, the same runners who have done it before coming back again and having a great experience time and time again. They're still trying to offer more and more and more to get more people involved, not just for more sake, but just because they know what they have is really special. And so from that standpoint, I really appreciated that ACG was a supporting role. And I felt that at Gorge too, which says a lot about just like how the brand itself is wanting to activate. Again, I'm going to reiterate, like the Radical Airflow itself, I was skeptical. Not only skeptical, I was actually really critical even before I experienced it. But then I couldn't deny that it actually worked and, it is true technology. But the same thing here with Broken Arrow and Gorge. I couldn't deny that ACG was there in just an overwhelmingly positive way. And because of those two experiences this year, the investment moving forward into trail running, that was a big worry with ACG coming back of are they just here to dip their toes in and then say see you later again? I really believe that they're here to just continue to invest in the sport, continue to invest in innovation and athletes and the broader community as a whole. And so that's kind of, I guess that was the big takeaway for me at Broken Arrow. And so if you choose to show up to Broken Arrow next year as ACG is a sponsor, just have some of those expectations and that it is actually going to be a really positive experience. Yes, it feels big compared to a lot of other races, but it still has that true heart that Broken Arrow has always had about it. And it's really an event for the people. And I really do think there's something for everybody, whether you like the big races or not. And so take that for what it's worth. Getting a little lengthy here, but man, ACG, thanks for bringing me out. Also, thanks for proving me wrong. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to be in the premier short course race in the US. And shout out to everybody on Brendan and his team at Broken Arrow for just putting on something special and continuing to do so and to continue to be thoughtful about the experience you're providing for the people. So yeah.
Hey, Dirt Division listeners, NAC is the sponsor of this week's podcast. They are a Canadian-based company that is globally known for their nutrition products and eco-friendly approach. They have a range of goods like bars, purees, gels, broths, drink mixes, and even a recovery mix that I wasn't aware of. So I gotta get me some of that, because I have some big mountain adventures and UTMB MCC coming up this summer. As a trail runner, I've been using their Boost line for workouts and long runs. The gels and drink mixes are full of quickly digestible carbs. I used the Boost drink mix while we were in the Grand Canyon, and it really felt like a one-stop nutrition shop with 60 grams of carbs per serving, 500 milligrams of sodium, and solid subtle flavors. Their focus on a specific glucose to fructose ratio and use of natural ingredients are truly gut-friendly and performance-enhancing. So, if you're interested in trying any of their products for yourself, go to nac.com and use the code BITR15 at checkout for 15% off. Links in the bio. Hey, this is Taylor with Believe in the Run, and today I get the privilege to sit down with Aeres Reading. If you've never heard of that name, you probably aren't the only one. He is an up-and-coming athlete, more on the short course. Maybe he'll be going ultra. I don't know. We'll get into that conversation here. A lot of times when I hear of new athletes, I'm quick to go to their ultra sign up and check out results. However, I was at Big Alta. I heard through the grapevine via a couple of prominent names to be on the lookout for this guy, Aeres Reading. And lo and behold, he crushed it out there. It was right then I knew I wanted to chat with him, a young up-and-comer, and I did what I don't normally do. I didn't look at any of his background in terms of results or where he's from, any of that, because I wanted to hear it from himself. And so today we have Aeres Reading on the Drop podcast. And I just want to say first, welcome, Aeres.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is sweet.
Yeah, no, this is sweet for all of us. And I love getting to chat with some, new on the scene athletes, because sometimes, there's a fairly traditional background that they come from, but also sometimes we tend to unearth some stories that are maybe non-traditional. And first stop, I would say, let's get into your background with running and really like how has your trajectory led you to trail running? Because it is more popular that's happening these days, but I wouldn't say it's the popular route for an athlete of your caliber quite yet. So what is your background?
Yeah. Started running in high school. I grew up in San Diego, California.
Okay.
I moved to Boulder my junior year of high school. So right in the middle of high school, I ended up going to Niwot High School.
Say no more because yeah. Okay, so what year was this then?
I moved in 2017. So I was there from 2017 to 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
it was
you
the second
did
year that Kelly was there.
Yeah.
The head coach there. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can kind of spread some of those details a little bit because that's significant for a high schooler to have that experience in their youth, to have that caliber of coaches, other athletes around you. So I was a high school coach from like 2015 to 2025 for track up here in Estes Park.
Oh, nice.
And so like, of course, we would run into Niwot often, and just the depth of athletes and like the maturity of many of the athletes, although many of you are just kids, normal kids, obviously, but there was something going on, something in that water that you were all drinking. Okay, so you went to high school at Niwot. Wow.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Like what is it like to be part of a team like that in high school? I know you probably didn't. Obviously, you didn't know any better, but or maybe you did, coming from where you had a high caliber program in San Diego too.
No, not at the level as now. I had great coaches in San Diego. But yeah, when I moved, we didn't have like a crazy deep team at the time. It was nowhere near what it is today.
Yeah.
But I did like one of my best friends and training partner at the time. His name's Cruz Culpepper. It was pretty sweet training with him because he was at such a high level, and it kind of gave me like a new standard. Like I used to think that certain things were good, and then coming to Niwot and like not even being the best guy on the team, I was like, all right, like things got to change. So it was pretty good for me mentally. To have that and have the coaches like, believe in me and believe I can run at the highest level. Even without showing necessarily a ton of potential when I first moved here.
Yeah.
So,
And in Niwot, for those who don't know, it's near Boulder, just outside of Boulder, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes.
yeah,
And, it's kind of like from a coach's perspective, it's kind of the best mix is like it's a quite affluent, very secure community, and where kids can just like do the things they want to really securely, not have to worry about much else. Plus, it brings a lot of just talent like over the years in terms of coaching and athletes. So that's pretty cool and gives you like a whole leg of experience up on a lot of folks in the country, whether it's track or just running in general. Cool. So then how did that go as you were at Niwot? You said you had some training partners that were really high caliber and pulled you along?
Yeah. Junior year was a little rough. Adjusting to the altitude was kind of tough.
Sea level to, over a mile high, around 6,000 maybe?
Yeah. It's like 5,300, maybe 5,400. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, like just jumping in terms of intensity and altitude at once was kind of a lot for me. So I didn't really perform that well until my senior year of cross country. So kind of held out for the end there.
And when you say perform well, what are some of the times you're throwing down as an athlete in high school, if you remember some of those off the top of your head?
I was a lot better at cross country. But I ran my junior year, I ran 9:14 in the 2 mile.
Oh.
And then I ran 4:21 at altitude in the mile my senior year. But I was able to get 17th at NXN and 19th at Foot Locker.
Amazing.
So
really, the cream of the crop when it comes down to high school athletes. And where did that lead you? Did you go on to do more collegiately or?
Yeah. So I started out at Furman University. In South Carolina. Which
certainly has
sweet.
That long distance and cross country pedigree. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was there for 2.5 years, and then I ended up transferring and finishing up at Santa Clara in
Okay.
California, so
Yeah.
opposite coast. In 2024 is when I graduated.
Okay. And so then, like, how does this get to trail running? Like, were you
Yeah,
exposed at a younger age? Like, I know there's some athletes in a lot of Colorado high schools, they might get that experience of being able to run on trails or do something like that just because it's a whole lot more part of our culture. But
yeah.
was that your family's culture at all, or?
No, not really. Honestly, I got more exposure to trails when I was living in San Diego.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, kind of random, but we would do this camp. I guess I only did it 1 year going into my sophomore year up in Sequoia National Park in
Sweet.
Northern California.
Yeah.
And we just would do these, like, I don't know, at the time for me they were like crazy, but it was like like an 8 mile trail run or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like this is so fun. And there was like a race that we had like just within the camp with like a couple different high schools. It was called the Hump, and it was like a 5.5 mile just straight up hill. And I like was not very good in comparison to the other guys, and I ended up winning it, and I had like so much fun. It was like the easiest thing I'd ever done. I thought it was so cool. So I was like, man, like trails are sick. So it's kind of always been in the back of my mind since I was like 15. I was like, man, like one day it'd be really
Yeah.
cool to do like longer trail stuff, maybe like more like mountainous stuff. Cause I was always kind of like never really enjoyed being on the track.
Mm-hmm.
I was always more like cross country. So
Yeah.
it was like, man, like one day, maybe after college, like I'm going to do the trails.
And were you aware at that time, like, I think you're talking about 2015 to 27, like
Yeah.
2017, like trail running had really started to become more professionalized. It's quite more advanced nowadays, of course. So were you
Yeah.
aware of even the possibility of like being able to compete or have a career in this?
No, I didn't follow it at all. I didn't even know it was like possible to go pro at trail running.
Yeah.
Like at the time, I was just like, oh man, like it'd be sick to just like do it and like do competitions. But
Yeah.
um, I guess kind of like the track that you're on, if you go like, high school, NCAA, that sort of thing, it kind of just
Mhm.
sets you up for either like track or roads. So that's kind of
Yeah,
like what
for
I was
sure.
like, all right, well, if it's going well, then I'll just stay on the track and roads and maybe do like trail stuff for fun or something.
Yeah. And
So yeah, it
did
wasn't
you
until recently that I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
like, wow, like, yeah, it's been pretty eye opening the last year, honestly.
So then, like the last year, what between finishing up college at Santa Clara and now, what has your life been like? What have you been up to? Like,
Yeah. So I came back to Boulder right after college. And I joined a team called Roots Running Project
mhm,
out here. It's more like a long distance track, and then like
for sure.
road based
Many
focused team.
many people will still remember Noah Droddy, kind
Yeah.
of help really bring that team out
Yeah.
to
Yeah, he did.
the modern world. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I did that for about a year, and I had some small successes, but a lot of like every time I went on the track, I'd be like, man, I do not want to be here. Which seemed kind of silly because I was like, I was
Mhm.
the one that like paid for the flights and got my hotel and the race, and I'm like, why am I
Yeah.
here? So yeah, I was really like this past fall in 2025, I was like, man, like I was like researching trail, like seeing that like a lot of people are going pro, like it's getting a lot more attention.
Mhm.
I was like familiar with like the Andy Wacker and the trail team out here.
Yep.
And I had heard some names. And I was like, man, like I just gotta try it. Like now is the time. Like now is better than any time. So like let's do it. And I ended up reaching out to Matt Daniels, who's my coach now.
Cool.
And yeah, we started working together in September. And yeah, now we're here.
Yeah. So Matt Daniels is the one who tipped off Dylan for the big
Yeah.
Alta surprise there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
he did.
Okay. And then like obviously when you're in Boulder as well, you're kind of rubbing shoulders with a lot of really familiar names in the sport, whether that be road, track,
Yeah.
and trail. Did you have any other people kind of speaking into you at that time of your starting to explore this route?
Not really. I've been just like fully in like road and track. It's like all my
Yeah.
friends, all my inner circles are either like high caliber road athletes, high caliber track athletes.
Mhm.
So like even some of them like still like aren't really like aware of like, you know,
Yeah.
how big the trail world is because they're just like tunneled in on their own world. So like some people would be like, what? Like I didn't even
Yeah.
know you could do that. Like
Trail
that's
running as a sport?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just kind of like my own doing thing. It was like my own like weird thing at first. But yeah, now like a lot more of my friends are like following along. People are like, oh, these races you do are crazy, even though they're like, you know, technically the shorter races on the spectrum.
But that's the thing these days too, of like, not only has the trail running world expanded in terms of like how many people are being involved, being able to have a professional career, but you can also kind of silo in on different disciplines where you have been having success in some of these shorters. You could go short ultra, you could go long ultra, and then I mean Cocodona just finished, and that's a whole other weird segment of our sport. But there's a lot of kind of like track, I guess. There's specificity in terms of your discipline. And so then you have done some other races other than Big Ultra, it seems. And how have those gone so far? Could you list off a few of kind of events you've been to and how they've gone for you? Because sometimes the transition from the tracks and the roads feels natural for some people, and it sounds like maybe that's been for you. But sometimes there's a huge learning curve too of like, I know Lauren Gregory, you know, Nike ACG athlete. She had an incredible career on the track, on, you know, on the roads too. She's been exploring that. And she's someone who has been around trails all of her life, like growing up in Fort Collins. And even her transition has, you know, comes with some bumps and bruises along the way. Has it been smooth for you? Like, what were some of those races you've done and how's it been going?
Yeah. I'd say it's been smoother than I expected, but there's still some bumps for sure. My first race I did was the USATF Half Marathon Champs in Moab.
Okay.
That was in
Why
November
not?
of this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I had no idea. I was just like, oh, like USATF championships. Like I didn't really know how anything works. So I was like, oh, this is great. And so I signed up for that. And then it was just like unlike any other trail that I've done. So it did not go very well for me. I wasn't too stoked about it after.
Well, and that's the thing of like, you'd think Moab be fairly non-technical, but there's a lot of really tricky rock and ups and downs that you, even if you're a steeplechaser, might not be all that comfortable to go over, right? And so there's one thing to be said. I'm sure you come in with a lot of fitness. And so that's probably with you. But was that frustrating to you, or was that something like, oh man, I got to try that again and do this, this, and this?
A bit of both. Like I was pretty like upset after. I was like, oh man, like there was just like nothing I could have done. Like it didn't feel too hard, but I like couldn't go any faster on like certain rocky parts. And I was like, oh, but it was more fuel to the fire for sure. I was like, all right, like I'm going to do this right. Cause at the time, my big focus for the winter season was the USATF cross country championships in Portland. So that was like a month later. So I was like, all right, after this race, like for a while at least, I'm not doing any road, any track, any cross country, like just trail. Like I got to dial it in. So I think that was like a good wake up call. Like, all right, like I can't just like, you know, run as if I'm training on the roads and then just go out and run well on the trails. Like I needed like more specificity in it. So that was good, honestly.
And so what place did you come in at that? Just to get a gauge at USATF.
I was seventh overall.
Okay. And that's one of those races too. Like it does get some road and track attention, but there are some athletes who really like, you know, Andy Wacker, you mentioned from the top of like, he's one of those athletes who can pop into that and has enough trail experience and can just rip. But there's a lot of really great contenders there. So you shouldn't be too hard on yourself because again, USATF, and it's a really popular race itself. So then, I mean, now you're working at that time, trying to think back when that was. So you would have been working with Matt Daniels at that time?
Yeah, already? For a couple months. Like 2 months.
And so like, what does he say after an experience like that? Because he has that, you know, road and track background. mostly track background, I guess, that he can identify with you. And he also has, years now of great success and lots of learning opportunities on the trail. So what was that conversation like initially?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool. Like he didn't put any expectations on me, or didn't even try to give me a goal for that race because it was my first one. And also Moab's very unique, which is now what I'm now learning. I had never been to Moab.
It's a unique spot.
It's kind of its own little thing. And so he was just like, man, it's not like no trail race you do throughout the year is going to be like that race. Every trail is different. And that's a benefit of living in Boulder, is you can kind of train for almost any sort of trail
for sure.
In the area and not have to drive too far, and you can kind of simulate different things. So yeah, he was like, this is a great starting point. Don't be too
first
hard
trail
on
race, top 10 in the nation.
Yeah.
Why
but
not?
Yeah, it was cool because he actually, the first thing he said after that race was, I think you should do the Big Alta 28K.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. And Canyon's 25K. So I was like, all right, those are going to be my first 2 races of the year. And so it's kind of cool just knowing that off the bat. And then both of those went pretty well. So I was like, all right, it's building more trust with Matt just through that.
Yeah. And I mean, when you go from an experience like that, and like you said, after the cross country race, you wanted to go all in on the trails. Has it really been that way? You're just kind of all in every day you're on the trails, or having that road and track background, you're kind of, and the knowledge of a coach, are you starting to mix in trails every now and then? Are you on the trails most days? Because trail running, there's so much experience to it. There's lots of skills to build, and just repetition, I guess, like any sport, even running an 800 on a track, there's some really specifics that can make you successful. So what's that kind of training transition been like?
Yeah. I think before Moab, it was I literally did one trail run. In that build. And then now it's more it's definitely a bit of a mix. When I do workouts, and if they're more threshold or tempos, I'll do them on the dirt roads.
Okay.
So not not doing those on trails. And then I'll do bigger long runs. I try to do on trails now. And then throughout the week, I'll do it'll be a half and half split on my easy runs of either just running from where I live, which is a lot of just more flat, smooth trails, and then going up to the foothills and getting in some more vert.
So on a run like that, of course, at Believe in the Run, we're really gear heavy, and there's a big buzz around the gravel shoes, the road to trail shoes. What kind of shoes are you choosing for most of your weekly runs, especially those ones that are kind of bridging the roads from your house to the trails? What are some things you're wearing?
Yeah, well, right now my budget isn't too big for the shoes. Get you reviewing. I've been running recently. I have a great friend that runs for ASICS that's got me some ASICS shoes.
Sweet.
I've been doing the Nova Blast.
Oh yeah.
Which I really like. I have another great friend that works at Skechers.
Perfect.
So I've actually been running a lot in the Skechers.
Dude, in Skechers, underrated. They're underrated every time. They don't do themselves favors of how they release things and when they do, but underrated. I have some Skechers that I really enjoy.
Yeah. I ran on the Sparks this morning. I really like them.
Yeah, I have those back here too. I actually haven't even run in that particular version because I do too much on trail. I should probably follow your lead and do a little more road.
Yeah. A little balance is good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how about let's say you're going out for, that was a road run as well. Is there a trail specific shoe you have that you've been really enjoying too?
I have the Nike Ultrafly Trail.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the older version, not the ACG one. That's what I use for races, and then I'll use it for some trail specific stuff.
Sweet.
But I currently don't have a trail daily trainer.
Okay. And what did you wear at Big Alta?
I wore the Ultraflies.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I do want to talk a little bit more about your experience at Big Alta. And then did you end up running the Canyons 25K as well? I was so
Yeah.
locked into the 100K that I didn't even like glance at the 50K or the 25K results.
Yeah.
So
All
I'm
good.
not in the know here. But so then as you transition to those next trail races, how did you feel coming in? What were your experiences like with those?
Yeah, really good. Big Alta, I was like so excited for, just because I had gotten in like so much training since my last trail race. You know, it'd been like 5 months, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so I was just like so excited, and I really love those kinds of trails. Like, it's not too far from Santa Clara,
Okay.
and we would run on like very similar trails to that course.
Oh,
Um,
so gorgeous. I had never been in
yeah,
that area or really on like, I don't know if you would call this California carpet even, right? Like
yeah, not
it
quite.
has a little bit of technicality to it, but not so much. You can just like you can get in a groove
Yeah,
really,
for sure.
really well on the ups and the downs. And there's lots of ups and downs, but
Yeah,
it's not so technical that you're kind of only focused on that aspect of like,
definitely.
if you have fitness, this is the type of course that you can really show some fitness.
Yeah, 100%.
So then at Big Alta, which race did you do?
The 28K.
The 28K. And so like right around 17 miles. And what actually I was in that race too. And for a single loop, like that is such an amazing like little
Yeah,
single loop. Anybody
yeah,
who
it's
wants to
crazy.
run something that distance, it's wonderful. Okay, so then give us some specifics on that race and how that went. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert, he crushed it.
yeah, yeah. It went really well. I like I didn't know when I should try to take the lead, so I just tried to stay in second as long as possible, just
Mhm.
because I had never raced that far. So in my head, I was like, I'm probably gonna blow up at some point, and
Yeah.
so I was like just trying to conserve energy. But I felt really good, and it's a cool course because like the uphills are like so long and
Mhm.
gradual that it's
Yep.
like you're not really having to change like turnover. Like you said, like you can just get into a groove. So that actually made the race go by like mentally much quicker.
Mhm.
So it's awesome. Like suddenly I looked at my watch and we're at like 11 miles and I was like, wow, like this is
In
great.
pretty much every step of that course, like there was one on that final ridge, there was one section that I didn't run, but pretty much every other section in my mind was very runnable,
Oh
but
yeah,
you
for
have to
sure.
earn that running for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And so
Um,
then, like when you line up for a race at this, sorry to take it back to the start line, are you
yeah, yeah.
aware of a lot of the names that are around? Because Big Alta attracted a lot of attention in terms of like elite level
Yeah.
athletes. Just one of those races. Are you aware of some of the people that you're trying to beat, or have you heard of some of these names, or are you kind of like ignorance is bliss here, or like even like running scared a little bit because you just don't know who's there?
Yeah. I'd say it's a good mix. I try to do ignorance is bliss, but a lot of times I can't help myself. I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta know. I gotta see like if they have any weaknesses, like where I can play my strengths to. I get a bit into that. So I knew like JoJo, who's the guy who ended up finishing second. I knew
Yeah.
he was a really solid runner, and he was coming off. I think he got fourth at Black Canyons 50K. So I was like, all right, like this guy's legit.
Yeah.
Like watch out for him. And then yeah, that was pretty much the only person I knew in that field because I was like, all
Okay.
right, I'm not. I started like overthinking, and I was like, all right, let's just take it one step at a time here. So then I was like, all right, like I'll just focus on him, and sure enough, he took the lead from the beginning. I was like, all right, awesome. Um, so
And
that was
I think if it's the JoJo I'm thinking of, is he from that area too?
he trains right now in Crescent Butte. So
Oh, okay. So different JoJo.
yeah,
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. How did I not? Yep. When you say JoJo, yep.
yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah. And man, he's a crusher as well.
Yeah. He's a
Yeah.
total stud. Um, so yeah, that was like really the only person I knew going into it.
And so then, like along the course, are you guys kind of running shoulder to shoulder for the most part? Are you just kind of like thinking of this as a cross country race? You're kind of covering the moves and then
Yeah,
you pick a time to go.
exactly. Yeah, exactly like a cross country race. Like
Yeah.
anytime he would surge a little bit, I'd be like, all right, just cover it. just
Yeah.
cover it, and then you'd look back and then slow down, and then a little later surge again. I'd be like, all right, just cover it. But yeah, and then it got to the point where like on the last like big climb, there's 2 major climbs in that course, so like
Yep.
close to mile 12. I was like,
Yep.
all right, I feel too good. Like I gotta just like see what I'm capable of and like see if it sticks. You know, it would be a good learning experience even if it didn't stick and I blew
Yeah.
up. So yeah, so then after that I was like, all right, and then again, yeah, just like cross country, like if you're gonna make a move, you have to commit to it.
Yep.
So yeah, and then I just
And then,
hammered.
I mean, you had kind of said before, even in high school, you realized that your uphill legs are, you have confidence in those, it
Yeah.
seems. And so that mile 12 climb is, it's a stout climb for sure, but oh man, so beautiful.
Yeah.
But if you just set the gear and kind of go, do you have kind of that, that road and track confidence too in your legs once it came to the downhill sections? Because it was a little, chunky at times
Yeah.
on some of that descent and steep. Man, that's a quad.
Yeah.
How were quads feeling after that?
Oh, so beat up. That was like after that race at the time, that was like the most sore I'd ever been from racing. I was like,
Is that the longest you had ever run?
Yeah. It was the longest
Sweet.
I'd race, not
Yeah.
run. I'd run like 20 miles at
Okay.
that time, but the longest I'd run really hard for.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I was like, I don't even know how people run like double, quadruple this. Like, I was like, this is unreal. Like, I can't walk right now.
And that experience will like compound for sure. And so like after you finish with that, obviously a big moment for you, because that is one of those races that if you can perform there, like you naturally do get some more eyes on you. And that's where like I had heard of you first. I think a lot of people have heard of you first. And then you kind of went back to the drawing board, and Canyons was what, a month or a month and a half after?
Yeah. I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And so then what, kind of thinking of that same conversation, like what does Matt say to you after something like that? And then moving forward, a short training block after to run a 25K again.
Yeah. I mean, it was like definitely he was just like trying to tell me to like take a lot of confidence away from this and like, like this is good, because like at the same time, like I don't really know like what to compare it to, like the times.
Sure.
Like,
well, and that's the thing with trail of like, you can do a 5K at sea level or at altitude, and we have these conversions to be able to compare.
Exactly.
And, even with a little bit of hills, you can, that's about, 15 seconds per mile about difference. And you can make these comparisons, but trail, it's really, really hard to do that. And so does that mess with your mind at all of like kind of being in that gray area all the time with results now?
Yeah. I've kind of learned, or I've been getting better about like just kind of dropping the ego and like whatever pace I'm running is whatever pace I'm running. And it's like, like you're saying, it varies so much with trails. Like the conditions can do so much too. And there's no like conversion for that. You can't be like, oh, it's 10 degrees hotter this year. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, it's been a little challenging kind of like being like, all right, well, like this guy ran this at this race. And then I'm like, well, at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter because it was like that specific day.
Yeah.
Whereas
so when
like,
it comes down,
5K, be like, oh, that guy ran this. Like, that's how good he is.
Yeah. And
black and white with track.
Yeah. And at your level too, of like, we're really judging off of a lot of the names. And of course, the longer you go, there's a lot more variables to it and to a performance. But at where you can, like the 28K is such a fun event. I know a lot of the US is like so hyped on ultras, and that's, a very valiant goal to work toward. But I think some of the most fun I've ever had are some of these shorter races that like you're getting into. And so, I'm a big proponent for that kind of stuff. Okay. Between Big Alta and Canyons, what was it like? Did you go back to training? Good. Did you have to recover for a little while?
Yeah. The next week was pretty mellow. I don't think I did any workouts that week, but still like pretty normal volume, I think.
Okay. Yeah, Matt knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, at this point, I let him take the wheel, and I just do the running, which has been nice. Honestly, it's a lot easier mentally when you're just fully bought in.
Oh, totally. And it's sometimes just easier of like, I'm the kind of person. I like to experiment on myself, so I don't do coaches, but it's so nice to like have someone just tell you, here's what you need to do. And especially someone of his caliber and success, you can just be like, yes, sir, I will do that.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you're not going to steer me awry. So, okay. So then Canyons comes around.
Yeah.
Canyons has the same level of expertise and just veterans and people who can run really fast, probably more of a deeper field, I'm guessing, at the 25K.
Compared to Big Alta, there was one really, really, really incredible runner.
Yeah.
And then there's not, I wasn't as big or as deep as Big Alta, actually. Yeah.
Cool. And so then obviously a very different course. You go from Moab to these California cruisers for the most part. And now up in Canyons, it's California, but very different trail.
Yeah. Way different.
Just getting a smattering. So how'd that go?
It was good. I learned so much from Canyons. I'm like very glad I did it, like about myself as a runner. I've never really thought I would have to like worry about downhills. Like, I don't know why, like just coming from like roads and track, it's like, you just run hard on the downhills. Like you'll go faster. So I got my doors blown off by David Sinclair on the last technical downhill. And even though I made up ground on the last uphill section, it was just too much. So I ended up getting second by about like 40 seconds to David, who's obviously a very good runner.
Yeah, craft athlete, CCC, I think took
second at CCC.
Second place. Year-round crusher for sure.
Yeah. And so that was like, man, like I need to work on so much. Like, it was just, like just trail running efficiency. So I was like,
again, like kind of going back to the motivation or defeating, was that more motivating for you? Because I've also had that experience of like, I had a time that I was really, I have this local mountain I get to look out at, and I was really proud of the time that I had on it. And then someone like, again, Andy Wacker's comes in and puts like however like minutes on my uphill time. And it just like, to me at that moment, it was like really cool wow, this is world class. And like it motivated me more than it defeated me. Where do you kind of lie on that spectrum when those kind of things are happening, being so early in your trail running career?
Yeah. I think for this one, it was just only motivation. Just because like before that downhill section, which was like 11 miles into the race, like we were going back and forth trading leads. Like, I was like, all right, man, like I can really stick with this guy. And then it was just that one section, and then I gained on the uphill. And so I think for me, I'm like, all right, like now I know like what my weaknesses are. And I can kind of just hone in on that. And I think I'm going to be a very different runner in the next couple months from doing that. And like, it was very good that he just absolutely crushed me, because it wasn't like, oh, like maybe if I'd done this or that differently. It was like, no, he just totally destroyed me on this technical downhill section. So it's like, all right, like that's what I need to work on.
That's amazing. I love hearing those stories, and that you're motivated to do something about it. And living in Boulder, obviously you can do something about it. And I know you have some, I don't know of your particular goals. I would love to hear some of like, maybe what does the rest of 2026 look like for you? I know you have a really cool announcement to share too. But like when you're looking ahead to the year, what kind of things are you looking forward to? I mean, could be events and races, but also just some other things. What are we going to see you up to in 2026?
Yeah. So for the next couple months, it's a bit more like mountainy running. I got Sunapee Scramble in the beginning of June.
Which is that a USA qualifier again?
Yeah.
Or is it? Okay, sweet.
Yeah. And then after that, I have racing at Broken Arrow.
Okay. 23K?
I'm doing the Ascent and the 23K.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
You got one day in between there to rest up.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm getting better at recovering by then. So if not, again, it'll be a good learning experience either way. But I really hope to be fresh, or at least feeling solid for the 23K, because that's going to be insane. At
least stateside, like you're putting yourself in the mix of the most competitive fields, and obviously on purpose. What do you have greater goals in mind? Like, obviously it seems like you're really bought into this trail thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At the end of the year or sometime in the fall, I'm going to do a 50K
Okay.
to get me into OCC for next year. So like right now, big picture, is like see how close I can be to the front at OCC in 2027.
And this is where like I have to think that also, like, I know we're talking a lot about Matt here today, but this is some of the value of having someone like that in your corner. Of
Yeah.
like, I'm sure that's a conversation that he's talked to you about, like, let's do this for this year, but next year.
Yeah.
Because, for many of us who like got into the sport without very much guidance, we're just like, go, go, go. Okay, I did my first trail race. I'm going 50K. I'm going,
Yeah.
you just climb the ladder here in America. But
Mhm.
man, that's so cool that you're, like, as such a young athlete who's had a lot of success already. You're eyeing 2027 OCC.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So then any other things this year that might set you up well for that excursion toward 2027 OCC?
Yeah. I mean, starting in July, I'm going to be joining the Trail House, which is put on by Hyperlight, Wind Republic, and Lever. So that'll be a great like setup and overall.
Oh, yeah. And like, could you describe a little bit more? I know on a basic level of kind of what's going to be happening and the
Yeah.
goals behind the Trail House, but this is a really new thing for, besides just, a bunch of uh, bros wanting to just run trails for their whole life and, live, eat, and breathe trails. Like, this is a much more professionalized version of
Mhm.
something like that. Could you describe it a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, really the whole goal of it is to just bridge the gap between being almost pro and becoming a full-on professional
Mm-hmm.
in the sport of trail running. So really, like, it's providing us like the resources we need to not have to like stress about having a bunch of part-time jobs and stress about having it like paying for PT and gear and food and
Yeah.
a place to live. Like basically it's just covering all the necessities. So what we need to do is just run. And
Yeah,
it kind of like, puts the ball in our court. It's not
for
like
sure.
we don't have any of these crutches, it's like, all right, like it's
And
on us.
this might be more of like, a paperwork type thing of like, are they considered your sponsors for this amount of time? Is this like a 1-year
Mhm.
contract that you are signing as being part of this trail house? Or are you able to like have other brands approach you? And maybe that's a question you don't know.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, we can for sure have other brands approach us, and I mean, like a lot of our goals, right, are to get shoe contracts. So
It's
even
where the
though,
money's
like,
at. Yeah.
yeah, and so like even though we have like an apparel sponsor for now, it's like they're going to be willing to work with us. Like it's all about us achieving our dreams, and
Yeah.
for most people that aspire to be pro, it's to get a shoe contract. So yeah, we can totally have our own individual sponsors in addition. But yeah, so for 14 months, July through next August, those are like technically our sponsors as well.
Amazing. Hey, that sets
Yeah.
you up really nicely, leading toward OCC. You got this
Yeah.
14 months
Yeah.
to really
Exactly.
push for that. That's amazing. And
Yeah.
then it's going to be you. Do you know how many other folks are going to be a part of that
Yeah.
house?
Yeah. So I won't share all three of the other people, but it's going to be 4 people total.
Okay.
Yeah. So 4 of us living together. It's already been announced, but Matt Daniels is going to be the coach of that too,
Yep.
which is great for me. I don't have
Works
to.
for you.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with trying to switch coaches or anything, and I wouldn't really want to switch coaches at this point. So that was like
Yeah.
a huge thing for me to do it.
That's awesome. And is this, cross genders, or is it just male athletes?
It's just male athletes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really know how that would have gone with like living with.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, for this iteration of it, it's just male.
And do you know any of them personally already, or will you be getting to know these other athletes?
No, I don't know any of them personally
Okay.
yet.
I mean, I'm an
So,
introvert. That would scare me. How are you feeling about that?
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like I really enjoy being surrounded by people with like similar goals, and even if
Mhm.
it's not like the same distances, it's like all of them want to do trail running at the highest level.
Yep.
So I think that'll be beneficial for me to be around that all the time, kind of like talking about things like that all the time.
Yeah.
And kind of like staying focused.
Just like when you're on, a collegiate team, like there's so much power in the collective goals you have, even if it's like a different event specifically, but just
exactly.
Everybody eyes forward. We're doing this thing. That's awesome.
Like, everyone benefits off everyone else's success, which I think it's like a good system.
For sure. Yeah, totally. Okay. That's super exciting. As a fan of the sport, I'm really excited to see where you go with it. And like, I'm just remembering back to my early days of getting into trail running too, coming out of college, of like just how sweet and cool it is to be like, you're really learning a new sport, but it's also very familiar.
Yeah, 100%.
Because of the running aspect. So I'm just excited on a lot of levels for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. And where can, before we shut this down, where can people follow you in your journey? I know there is a Trailhouse Instagram where you can follow along eventually in July, but where else?
So the Trailhouse Instagram, the Trailhouse, I have a YouTube, and then my personal Instagram is Aeres_Reading. Hit me up.
Perfect. Hit them up.
Yeah.
Flood with followers, because they're going to want to be following.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Aeres, for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Great to get to know you a little bit, and just looking forward to more positive results in the future.
100%. Thank you.
Good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you want to tuck run, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop. DROP.